Hello and very warm welcome at Amish Cycle 5858. I am Amish Cycle. Following news have been reported by American, European, Asian, African, Australian news channels and the news agencies. So please, let's go to the headlines.
Tonight, several developing stories as we come on the air. Deadly mass shootings at a church in Michigan and a waterfront bar in North Carolina. The newly formed tropical storm threatening the southeast coast and a major shakeup in a key election. We begin with that deadly attack in Michigan. A gunman rammed his car into a church before opening fire during Sunday services. The church then went up in flames and partially collapsed. The gunman killed in a shootout with police. What we're learning about him and a possible motive. The southeast coast is now bracing for tropical storm Imelda, which just formed near the Bahamas. Heavy rain and a damaging storm surge are in the forecast, plus deadly flooding in the southwest with cars and 1,000 propane tanks washed away. The bombshell political announcement. New York Mayor Eric Adams abandons his re-election bid just 5 weeks before Election Day. What his exit means in the race for mayor of America's largest city. Also, multiple victims in North Carolina after police say a gunman on a boat attacked a waterfront bar. At least 3 people were killed, 1 suspect now in custody. How the Coast Guard finally captured him. President Trump says a government shutdown is likely in the next few days. Democrats refuse to budge on key issues as the White House warns of mass firings of government employees. Plus, the backlash over the president's plan to send troops to Portland, Oregon. The mayor and governor insist they're not needed. A chilling confession in a TV interview. Police have now arrested a man for allegedly killing both his parents. Why he says he did it. Singer Laura Young collapses on stage. Her performance canceled. Tonight, an update on her condition. An NFL quarterback is injured not on the field, but in a frightening robbery as his team prepared to play overseas. And America Strong tonight. The Philadelphia native who's building a community well beyond the city of brotherly love.
From ABC News World Headquarters in New York, this is World News Tonight. At least 9 then set fire to the church before responding officers shot and killed him. For more on this, let's bring in former FBI Special Agent Dan Bruner. Dan, thanks for being with us today. What do you see is at work here? I mean, there have been other attacks on churches and synagogues before. What's going on?
I think it's, you've got the extremists on both sides. I think they're extremist group, which is a small percentage of people who believe that violence is the only answer. I worked domestic terrorism for 4 of my years while I was in the FBI. You understand these extremists. They believe that violence is the only answer. The more and more they see this as happening, the more they see this in the news, the more coverage that it's getting, the more justified they feel it in their own mind that it's okay. This is an action that they're going to conduct. This is an action that they believe that they will forward the action. Only their action can start the next race war, can begin the next revolution, can push forward their movement. They believe that they are justified in their head. And the more and more they see it in the news, whether it be a school or church, every single one of these is a tragedy. It is horrible and should never happen. In their minds, they don't have the right conscience. They believe it is just the way to do it.
Psychopaths, then? Somebody who just doesn't give a rat about, some other human being?
Correct. I believe each one of these people who conduct these attacks, no matter what side they're on, are mentally incapacitated. There's a mental problem because no one of mental sanity would believe that violence is the only answer. Violence is never the answer. Have a conversation. We talk about this. Creating and conducting an attack on a church, on a school, on a nightclub, whatever it may be is wrong. But in their mind, they don't see that. They don't live on the rational plane with everyone else. They believe that the violence is the only answer to escape that problem that they believe that they're going to be moving forward.
We know that the FBI and other agencies are already, scrubbing the internet that is looking for a manifesto or some kind of indication that something was amiss with this particular 40-year-old gunman. Are they, do you think, likely to find that? I mean, so many of these shooters tend to be lone wolves who don't broadcast their intentions in advance.
Yeah, Absolutely. Former FBI Director Chris Wray said the lone wolf attack is the most difficult to defend upon because they don't conspire with other people. They don't talk to other people about their plans. They don't discuss an operation.
Tonight on Global National, a Sunday morning church service under attack. A gunman sets fire to a Mormon church in Michigan.
The shooter is down. We do have multiple victims.
What we know so far on the victims and possible motive. Ukraine under fire. Russia launches one of its largest aerial assaults of the war. How Europe and Washington are responding. One of the world's most prestigious golf tournaments turns ugly. Why the Ryder Cup's American fans are being accused of abusive behavior. Plus, 80 years of uniting nations. The UN marks a major milestone while facing criticism and calls for renewal.
Global National. Reporting tonight, Jeff Semple.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. A violent attack at a place of worship in the U.S. has left at least 3 people dead and multiple others wounded. Police say a gunman drove his vehicle into a Mormon church in Michigan during Sunday service. He then started shooting and set the building on fire. Candace Cole reports from Washington.
The shooter is down. We do have multiple victims. This is a dynamic scene.
Chaos and horror unfolded here at the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints in Grand Blanc, Michigan, where a raging fire burned for hours after worshipers' lives were cut down by a lone gunman Sunday morning. Police say the shooter was 40-year-old Thomas Jacob Sanford from the nearby city of Burton.
He drove his vehicle through the front doors of the church. He then exited his vehicle, firing several rounds at individuals within the church.
Police believe the gunman set fire to the church where hundreds of people were gathered after driving through the entrance. The gunman was then killed in a shootout with police. The incident has left those living in this community of just 7,700 people shaken.
This is unbelievable.
Like my hands are shaking. Like it's 10 minutes down the road from where I live, my home. That's insane.
Police say at least 10
Just be yourself. There's no rules.
Backroads, Thursday at 8.
Hello, welcome to ABC News. I'm Lorna Duncan. We are standing by this hour to take you live to Parliament House. The Treasurer, Jim Chalmers, will be speaking there very shortly about the federal budget. We'll take you there live as soon as he appears. In the meantime, let me update you on the other main stories. Optus has apologised for a second service outage in less than 2 weeks, this time affecting a mobile tower in the New South Wales Illawarra region. The outage calls between 3 a.m. and 12:20 p.m, including calls to 000 emergency network. Reporter Brooke Chandler has more from Dapto, where the latest outage took place.
Optus has this morning revealed there was a fault at a mobile tower here in Dapto, which caused an outage of its mobile
Shows on ABC iView. Always free, always WANNING.
Today, more O emergency calls failed after another Optus outage in New South Wales. 3 people charged with the murder of a Perth man after his body was found in bushland. A gunman opens fire at a Mormon church in the US, killing at least 4 people. And finals countdown. Brisbane secures the last 2 spots for the NRL and NRLW season deciders. Hello welcome to ABC News. I'm Lorna Dunkley. Optus has apologised for a second service outage in less than 2 weeks, this time affecting a mobile tower in the New South Wales Illawarra region. The outage affected calls between 3 a.m. and 12:20 p.m, including calls to 000 emergency networks. Reporter Brooke Chandler has more from Dapto, where the latest outage took place.
Optus has this morning revealed there was a fault at a mobile tower here in Dapto, which caused an outage of its mobile service between 3 a.m. and 12:20 p.m. on Sunday. It said it affected around 4,500 locals who use the service provider, as well as 900 calls. The telco said of those callers, one who needed an ambulance was
This is DW News, live from Berlin. Moldova chooses Europe over Russia. With nearly all results in, President Sandu's pro-EU governing party is comfortably ahead. An opposition pro-Russian alliance aiming to strengthen ties with Moscow has fallen behind. The brutal murders of 3 young women shock Argentina. The killings were live-streamed on social media. Thousands marched to demand justice and better protection for women. And Israeli strikes across Gaza killed dozens more Palestinians. Hamas calls on the Israeli military
since being stripped of their state handouts, Chancellor Rachel Reeves will announce today.
With their conference underway, is the Labour Party crisis? Well, Andy Burnham warns that there is a climate of fear in the party and it's shutting down debate.
President Trump will host the Israeli Prime Minister today at the White House for crunch talks over a new Gaza peace plan.
Consumer brand Which warns many home insurance policies do not cover accident as standard. But don't worry, we're going to be giving you all the tips to make sure that you are covered.
Sport this morning, what went from being a formality became very nerve-wracking last night. The Euro came through to win the Ryder Cup against the USA 15-13. That'll shut those fans up. After training St James's Park, 6 minutes to go, Arsenal beat Newcastle United to go back to second, and Aston Villa finally joined the party by beating Fulham.
Some of us are waking up to foggy scenes out there this morning, but will the sunshine return? Find out in your full forecast coming up.
Hello there, very good morning to you on this Monday morning. Thank you for starting your day and your week with us. I'm Eamon Holmes.
I'm Ellie Costello, and this is GB News Breakfast.
The lead story we're going to talk about today is the Home Secretary's idea that if you haven't accepted a job within 18 months, and the Chancellor goes along with this as well, that you'll be stripped of your benefits type thing. Could you imagine the rubbish jobs you'll be offered? You know, you'll be told, right, we're going to strip you of your benefits, but if you don't accept this job,
And what kind of jobs do you think they'd be offered?
I'm not going to say, because some poor people have to do those jobs. And, I think it's the easy thing always to say, Paul, because I remember as a teenager applying for jobs and thinking of jobs and believing I wanted to be a journalist, and nobody, no teacher, no parent, no friend said, oh, you're absolutely right, go and do that.
Yeah, they'd say, well, people don't do that. When I said, I want to be in the radio, they went,
Get a real job.
people don't do that.
Yeah.
Well, you could work in the background, but you can't be on there. I remember, I tell you, though, I'd been on the national radio station, and then that fell down, and then there was nothing. I didn't work for like 9 months.
The station fell down or you fell down?
Well, I fell down, the station, I fell down, because the station went like that.
Yeah.
It was a big station, and then it was like, so I had to sign on, so I couldn't get any work. And I remember I was sitting there, and I was thinking, this is not going well. What am I going to do? And a guy, I always remember, a sailor came in, he had the
Hello, good morning.
It's 6 o'clock on Breakfast Today. Details emerge about the man suspected of killing worshippers at a US Mormon church. It's Monday the 29th of September, coming your way. It's revealed the man accused of shooting dead 4 people at a Mormon church before setting it alight was a former Marine from a nearby town. Elsewhere, the Chancellor unveils plans to get all young people into paid work or else face losing benefits, while the Home Secretary announces tougher tests for migrants hoping to settle here. Team Europe hold on for an historic Ryder Cup victory after a tournament marred by abuse from the crowds. Hello, good morning everyone. Well, police have named the suspect in a mass shooting at a Mormon church in Michigan as 40-year-old Iraq veteran Thomas Jacob Sanford. 5 people have now been confirmed dead after the attack, including the suspect. 8 others have been injured. Well, the incident unfolded as a gunman drove into the building and began shooting with an assault rifle, and this all happened at the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day. It was about 10:30 in the morning. He then set it on fire. The FBI fear other victims could be found. This was a Sunday service attended by hundreds of people. Well, the suspect, a 40-year-old local and former Marine, was identified, as we said, as Thomas Sanford. He was killed during an exchange of fire with the police. Authorities say they're treating it as an act of targeted violence, but aren't yet clear on the motive.
Tonight, a violent Sunday in America.
The active shooter of the church.
In Michigan, multiple people shot at an LDS church. The building set on fire.
We believe it was deliberately set though by the suspect.
In North Carolina, a deadly mass shooting. A gunman opens fire on a waterfront restaurant from a boat.
I'm Skyler Henry in Southport, North Carolina, with new details on the shooting suspect and what police are calling a highly premeditated and targeted attack.
Also tonight, state of emergency. Arizona cleans up after catastrophic flooding.
All the businesses downtown are pretty much destroyed.
In the Atlantic, double trouble.
2 storms, one already a powerful hurricane, threaten the east and mid-Atlantic coast. I'm meteorologist Andrew Kozak, tracking it all.
Plus, shutdown standoff.
I'm Willie James, Inman at the White House, where President Trump will meet with top congressional leaders as Democrats dig in to secure health care funding.
And later, these are tough times for America's agriculture industry.
I'm in the worst shape right now that I've ever been.
I'm Lana Zach in Davenport, Iowa, with how the growing crisis is hitting more than just the family farm.
This is the CBS Weekend News from New York with Jerika Duncan.
This is Asia Now.
Hello and good morning. It's 11 a.m. in Singapore and Hong Kong, 8:30 in New Delhi, 10 o'clock in Jakarta. I'm Yasmin Yonkers at this hour. Typhoon Boiloy slams into Vietnam after battering the Philippines. 1 person is dead and a dozen missing as tens of thousands are evacuated amid floods and landslide risks. It's Asia's second deadly storm in a week. And live pictures from Bangkok, where Thailand's new Prime Minister Anutin Chanvirakul delivers his first policy speech. And he's unveiling a 4-point agenda focusing on the economy, security, disaster response, and social issues ahead of next year's election. China and North Korea vow closer ties following talks between their top diplomats. Both nations voice support for multilateralism and a fair world order.
Don Zaragostas, one of the 200 France 24 correspondents around the world.
Hello and a warm welcome to you. You're watching Daybreak here on France 24. These are the headlines. It's Moldova's pro-European party that has come out on top in parliamentary polls, set to retain its majority despite taking less of the ballot than last time round. The pro-Russian party kept second with 1/4 of votes cast. Talk of progress on a ceasefire for Gaza. Israel's Benjamin Netanyahu due at the White House, where Trump says a 21-point plan is gaining traction. This as Israel launches 140 airstrikes on Gaza in 24 hours. Refugee camps and high-rises hit. The death toll in Gaza has now risen to over 66,000 people. At least 4 people, meanwhile, killed in a mass shooting in the United States. A 40-year-old former Marine identified by police who killed him after he had rammed his car through church doors, opening fire and then setting the chapel ablaze. Good to have you with us. Well, also coming up, a visit to the longest open-air art gallery in the world, 1,360 meters of history. The East Side Gallery in Berlin, part of the wall immortalized by artists from around the globe, is marking its 35th anniversary. Moldova's pro-EU party looks set to retain its majority in parliament, taking almost 50%.
Tonight on PBS News Weekend, President Trump and top congressional leaders are set to meet in the Oval Office, trying to avert a government shutdown that could result in even more mass federal worker layoffs. Then why renters are increasingly outnumbering homeowners in the suburbs of some of America's biggest cities. And a special musician racks up millions of views online with performances tailored to help neurodivergent children.
I believe that's what music was created for, to bring everybody together. And so to see that is something that wows me every day.
Thank you for watching Amish Shakil 5858. I am Amish Shakil. I hope you will visit again. Have a good life. Bye-bye.